Very much for that update. Of course, flights and other things affected because of this global tech outage, and it happened right here in Western Mass. Our live team coverage continues now with our reporter Reagan Lokri, who is live in studio. Reagan, what can you tell us?
Well, Abby, the outage affected several hospitals across the state, including here in Western Mass. We know that Mass General Brigham across the state and Boston was forced to cancel all elective surgeries, and more locally, Cooley-Dickinson also seeing the impacts. Even operations here at Western Mass News were affected this morning.
Breaking news this morning. We are obviously not on air right now. That's due to a worldwide outage that is impacting internet services all across the globe.
That was a clip from our Friday morning newscast. A new software update to a commonly used cybersecurity system took down computers across the globe Friday, impacting airlines, banks, and media outlets like us here at Western Mass News. And hospitals are another business feeling the effects. Mass General Brigham, along with member hospitals like Cooley-Dickinson in Northampton, were forced to cancel all non-emergency surgeries Friday due to the severity of the issue, releasing this statement that reads in part, quote, "We have dedicated every available resource to resolve this issue as quickly as possible, and we apologize for the inconvenience this has caused our patients. It is our highest priority to ensure that our patients receive the safest care possible." Meanwhile, Bay State Health Center in Springfield lucked out and they did not experience any major issues from the outage. Western Mass News spoke with local tech expert Stan Prager, the owner of Go Geeks in East Long Meadow. He tells us who was most at risk during the software upgrade.
If your computer was based on a Windows-based system, this update from CrowdStrike would impact it. If your system was not a Windows-based system, if it was a Mac-based system or a Linux-based system or something of that nature, it would not affect you.
Prager says locally, big businesses were hit the hardest, like banks and hospitals. He points out smaller companies most likely don't run this system.
I wouldn't be running Falcon sensor software. Most people would not be running that. You'd be running that if you were an airline or a bank or a pharmaceutical company, something, because this is really high-end cybersecurity software and is designed to try to prevent criminals.
And another local system that was impacted was our power grid. ISO New England issued a statement that reads in part, "The region's power system remained reliable throughout the event, though some systems internal to the ISO were affected and have since been restored. The ISO is in close coordination with market participants who are experiencing issues on their systems and is available to assist should new issues arise."
Prager tells us the biggest takeaway is to not panic. He tells us this was not a cyber attack, but preventative maintenance that unfortunately caused an outage similar to what would occur during a cyber attack to the technological systems globally. Coming up at 6, I have more on how the outage impacted businesses locally. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Lokri for Western Mass News.